Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Podfather, Todd Foxx, along with my oldest son, the dog, Kellen, and the Den's enforcer, Clay Bench McDonald. We're going to go over the Thunder. We're going to talk a little NFL at the end. Got to, throw some NFL stuff out there because I don't know people realize we got a lot of knowledge when it comes to sports, and we got a lot of knowledge with football too. And Garrett's not here. He doesn't like to talk about the NFL. Me and Clay love the NFL. Kellen likes it too as well. So let's talk about the Thunder game. It's one of the reasons why this podcast is being done on Wednesday. Kellen and I both went to the game last night with his mother, my wife. So we all went to the game last night. Let me just tell you, I've got to tell you a story, okay? So I get a phone call from Amy a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. It says, hey, maybe a text, I don't know. The tickets are going to go on sale. As a season ticket holder, I get first dibs on the first game of the season to try to buy tickets. She says, "Can you think you could get the tickets?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So then I get on there and I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. First off, trying to ask me to buy tickets for something big is not probably the best idea. Tell her on the phone how much the tickets were, and she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "There's no way," because they were a little pricey. And I guess whatever site I went to was not the one that had them on, a little bit of a discount for us season ticket holders. I went straight to Ticketmaster or whoever it was. But I really do think that's how much they were. I truly do. Because that's where it automatically sends to anytime we try to sell tickets. But regardless, moving on. Then I put the tickets on Ticketmaster to sell them. So make sure we get some money back because, they're a little bit pricey. We're sitting here watching football on Sunday afternoon, and ding, I get a text message. I look, and sold the tickets. So I said, "Hey, sold the tickets." And Amy's looking at me. She goes, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, I go, "What do you mean? Like, were you going to go?" She goes, "Yeah, I just kind of figure we'd probably go." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Communicate. We got to know." No communication there. So we were sitting around like we sit around all the time. But we were talking and decided to go to the game last night. Well, I guess we decided, was it Monday, Kellen, that we decided? Because I sent you a text that you want to go. And then I tried to get Bench there to go, but Bench had other priorities he had going on. But regardless, it was a good game. Opening. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like what your thoughts were, because how impressive it is and how you were able to be there. Talk a little bit about the I want to talk about the opening first, the ring ceremony type of thing.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. They showed a quick hype video. It just kind of started at the beginning of last season. Some highlights, real quick. Every player involved in it, and then all of a sudden you get to the championship, and it's just flying through clips. But you just feel like you got the whole story in about 2 minutes, and them announcing all the players while they're going up to get their ring. Like it was awesome. The fans also barked at the wrong Jalen Williams. I thought that was kind of weird, but it's fine. They barked for both of them. The ring was exceptional. We couldn't even see all the details until later, but you could see it sparkling from the wall that we were sitting against. Everybody's just going crazy. You don't see Shea showing emotion very often, but even he was getting all excited when he cracked that ring open. Then they do the banner, and just watching that thing go up and all the players looking real excited, touching it as it's going up. It was awesome. It was once in a lifetime, obviously, because it's the first championship. I hope we win some more, but nothing's going to be as special as that first one. Stadium was packed out. Everybody was just cheering the whole time. It was so loud. Just during the opening ceremony, it was so loud. Everybody was so excited. So yeah, it was special.
It was special. It was cool. It was just a once in a lifetime thing that I was excited. It made it worth it. And we were in the nosebleeds, and that's completely fine because we were up in Loud City. But it was a fantastic environment. Everybody was hyped up and ready to go. And then obviously the game started, and it was electric there. Did you feel like, because Clay, you were watching obviously on TV, but was it any kind of like a championship hangover, or was it felt like a celebration? I thought, I mean, it was a celebration before the game. And another thing I thought was cool, Steven Adams and Green, both Jeff Green, came out and they sat down and watched the ceremony. I thought that was pretty cool. And they were clapping. I wasn't visibly watching them, but I've seen highlights of them clapping, at different times. And I think that's pretty cool. Obviously KD didn't come out, but I thought it was pretty neat. But regardless, Clay, like, how did you watched NBC's return? We're on the first game. How did that go? NBC.
I think it went pretty good. I would say the pregame was, I mean, I can't think of a better word than just say clunky. Their microphones kept going out, and they keep having to bring new microphones in. And then you saw them at halftime, and they were all corded, but before they were wireless. And so somebody would be talking, and it'd shut off, and you could tell they hadn't worked much together because they're all talking on top of each other and everything. But they'll get that figured out. It's not that big a deal. Other than that, I thought the ring ceremony and the raising the banner, I thought they did an incredible job because nobody talked. It's just we got to watch what you guys were watching in the arena. Just heard the public dress announcer, there was nobody saying, "Oh, look at Shay's ring," or Shay, we just watched. And so we got to enjoy it like that. So I thought that was pretty cool move on their part. The announcing, Tirico, that dude's unbelievable, man.
Pretty good.
I'm going to love it on NBC with him on there. Reggie Miller does a good job. Jamal Crawford wasn't bad. He could get a little better, but, way better than Doris Burke. I know that. But seeing Reggie Miller out there was pretty good. And then, like I said, Tirico was awesome. So other than that, I think it was a pretty good show. To mention, did you ask about the game? What did it seem like about the game?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I felt like it was the first game. Both teams were a little struggling. We shot poorly. We had a lot of people in foul trouble. They had people in foul trouble. These guys hadn't played a full game since last year. None of them on either side. And so that's a lot to go. They said that last night's game was 25 minutes longer than any game we played the entire last year. And so these guys aren't in shape to play that much. And so to play that much, to play that well, to score that many points, I thought it was an incredible first game. Houston's a playoff team by far. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. So for us to come out there without J-Dub, without Isaiah Joe, I thought was incredible to get that win against a team like that, because I honestly didn't think we were going to win, even going into it without J-Dub.
Really? Okay. And that was did I read right? That was the tallest NBA lineup ever for a starting lineup?
Yep. They don't have a point guard. Van Fleet tore his ACL, so he's out for the year. So they don't have a point guard, and so they were trying to figure that part out, which they haven't really got to do that. So yeah, they were like 6'7", and their other four starters were 6'11", and so they come out there in that zone, and we got to figure that out, because obviously Denver did that to us last year. We got to be able to score against the zone, get a lot better 3-point shooting in. Wiggins wasn't hitting great, but I think having Isaiah Joe available would have been huge. Jalen Williams would have been big for the 3 points. I mean, Chet kept us in the game the first quarter. And then once Amon Thompson kind of started tweaking his knee or whatever he was hurting, that's when Shea went off, because he wasn't there to guard him anymore. And so that's when he went off in fourth quarter and overtime.
Well, I want to get to KD in a minute, but I want to talk real quick. Shea only had 5 points at halftime, and the switch flipped. Kellen, we were yelling out like, "Hey, like this, Shea, take over. We need you to take over." And sure enough, he started taking over, and he's a clutch. He one of the most clutch players, I think, in the NBA currently. He finished with 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and obviously had the game-winning free throw shots. But Kellen, how does his poise compare to old school type stars, like a Kobe? I know Kobe was one of your favorites. How does his poise compare?
I mean, it just looks like he's never scared. So I think he's a little less. I think players are scared of him, but I think people are more scared of Kobe because he'll kill you. But I think nobody wants to guard Shea, that's for sure. So I think he's just so cool, calm, and collective. But I think that's why you need Dub, because they're the opposite. Dub really energizes the team, keeps the team excited, but Shea keeps everybody level-headed. You need that guy that makes sure we're not getting too high or too low. Because I personally I don't think it had anything to do with Thompson. I think Shea tries to let the rest of the team do what they need to do, and he keeps the game within reach. And if we're not winning, when it's time for him to step up, he steps up. I think he could have 50, 60 points every game if he wanted to. He wants the rest of the team to do well. So, because outside of shooting threes, I didn't feel like he really tried in that first half, and it wasn't because I think it was literally because Chet was going off and he was letting everybody else play. So I think I fully trust him. I just think whenever he's ready, whenever he decides it's time for him to take over, he will. But if the team doesn't need him to take over, he's going to let them play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chet, he had a
good
monster first half, monster first quarter. He finished 28 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and then him and that, what is it, Şengün, is that how you say his name? 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Was he the best player, the Şengün guy, on the floor last night, do you think, even with loss? I mean, obviously, I think Shea was, but that's just me. But
I think Shea's obviously the best player on the court. I would still say, as good as he was doing, I'd say Kevin Durant was better than him because Şengün was just making some good shots. KD was more efficient and unguardable.
He had the problem of having Dort on him. Şengün did not.
Okay,
but even then, like KD, I personally think Chet should have been guarding KD because I think that little fadeaway he does, it's unguardable unless you're tall. And I think there's only 2 people in the league that stand a chance, and that's Wemby and Chet. Because KD's so tall and it's just unguardable. So he was looking really good. I'm not going to lie.
Clay, to the Thunder.
One of the best things the announcer said is at the end when Shea got KD up in the air and made him get a 6th foul, made him foul out. We got to go hit the 2-pointers. Jamal Crawford goes, "Look at Shea. He got KD in the spin cycle and he didn't know what was going on." And I was like, awesome. That is one of the best ever. That was awesome.
Clay, did OKC struggle more because of the size of Houston, or do you think it's more the physicality?
I think it's the size and length because that's hard to shoot over those guys, especially when they play a zone like that. And so, I mean, it's pretty tough for them to shoot over it. You know, I mean, obviously the rebounding, I thought we should have probably played Jalen Williams a little more.
I agree.
Give him some more time on the inside, fighting against those bigger dudes to probably not get Chet and Hartenstein fouled out. But Jalen Williams has turned into a really, really good shooter from the outside. So I think he should have got a lot more minutes against a team with that size.
That's what Kellen was saying.
We got to go. You know how we have always had to do with the Mavericks is play 3 big dudes, kind of like we do. You know, run those 3 against the Joker. That's kind of what I thought we should have done last night a little more. So I think it's maybe probably a little of both, but I definitely think the length is what was hard once because I didn't feel like we utilized our quickness as much as we should have either.
Sure. So I'm going to go some stats here real quick. I know the field goal percentage was nearly identical, 44.3 and 44.2, so right there with each other. Houston, 52 rebounds. Oklahoma City, 38. Oklahoma City had 12 turnovers. Houston had 25. I felt like we had more, but I guess not. Steals, Oklahoma City 12, Houston 6. How did we survive getting crushed off the glass by, what was that? Was that 14, 16 different boards? Like how did we survive that? But it happened all last year too, though, it seemed like.
I mean,
we still survived.
I could be wrong. I really feel like going into half, the turnovers was 13-12. So I think when you go into the second half, it might have not been that exactly, but clearly second half, the turnovers was they way more than us, and that obviously helps. And then when you have the best player in the league, it's going to make you survive. But I don't know how we survived because we shot horribly. And I don't even think it was their height. We had so many open looks from 3.
We just couldn't hit 3.
We were moving the ball so much, and we'd have so many open corner 3s that it was ridiculous. That by the end of the game, I felt like they were treating our whole team like Russell Westbrook and just not covering the perimeter.
I think last I looked, we were 25% on 3.
We were like 20 at one point.
Yeah, we were 20, 21 at one point. But they're going to obviously have to improve that. I think J-Dub coming back will help. something like Hardenstein shot one. I'm like, dude, don't shoot that. And then
he always takes like one a game. He made one in the preseason a couple weeks ago, so everybody's all excited. But he always takes at least one a game just to see.
Don't do it.
I'd rather him do it at the top of the key so we can maybe use the backboard instead of a corner.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So I want to talk about KD real quick. Was it any extra special that we did all the banners with him in the building? I know he didn't get to come out and watch it, but was it any special to either you?
No.
Yeah.
Moved on. Like,
sure.
I hated him for a bit. I don't mind him now. I want him to do well when he's not playing us. Like,
yeah.
I like the team we got, and if he would have stayed, we would not have this team. I don't believe so. I don't.
Sure.
It didn't mean anything. I was too worrying about him while watching the ceremony is just kind of weird. Like, enjoy the now. Like, focus on what we got, not what we lost, because we won. So didn't affect me any.
So how poetic was it that he fouled out whenever Shea did the pump fake?
Thought it was awesome. It was way better than the opposite.
Well, yeah.
Terrible.
I thought it was cool, but I mean, it was just like, I was mad that he didn't foul out earlier. Like, Şengün had like 5 fouls in the first overtime. I don't know why we didn't attack him every time, and then we should have gotten one of them fouled out more quickly. But I mean, I was kind of just confused why KD was even guarding Shea. But
yeah. So here's another question. So where we sat, it was on the opposite side as whenever Durant called that timeout. So Clay, walk us through a little bit on that, what they were saying on TV.
Yeah,
because
the rule
I didn't see it.
The rule is, I mean, he definitely called timeout, but the rule they said is that it's not a technical unless the refs grant the timeout.
That's ridiculous.
So I don't know if the referee honestly was like, "What are you doing? I'm gonna just let it go because you're gonna lose this game over this." And thought through it. I don't think a referee can think that quickly because as soon as they see timeout, they boop. That's what their instant reaction is. So I don't know how all three of them missed it. Personally, now that we won the game, I'm glad they didn't call it and give him that because that'd have been a crappy way to win. It's pretty
Sure.
cheap. And so,
sure.
So in that regards, I'm glad they didn't give it to him. But it's still a rule that he messed up. And they should have given it to him.
Well, I know where we sat. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what was going on.
I was just confused.
You see Hardenstein going nuts, and everybody's going nuts, and then Dagnall is just going off. I'm like, don't get a technical because he was livid, and understandably so. I totally understand it, but it was just frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely honest. And I told this to Kellen. I actually called and talked to Matt Ravis and Gideon Hamilton last night on WWS on the way home. And I said, I felt sorry for Durant whenever he called timeout, just the look on his face, because they had it on the big video and then on the big screen. And when we got home, we watched that part because we wanted to see it. But I felt sorry for him. And for me, it's over. Like, he left a long time ago. I've been past it for a while. He's still one of my favorite players, even though he plays for all the other teams. I know he's deemed as a villain and sorts by some people in the league and Thunder people, and that's fine. Like I said last night, I'm not gonna tell anybody how they should feel, but I think at some point just be done. Like, boo him at the beginning or whatever, and then just be done, because they were booing him every single time he got the ball. And I'm done with it. Thunder fans, to like Kellen just said, and I said it last night on the whenever I called BWLS, hey, if he doesn't leave, we probably don't have this same team put together. You know what I mean?
We probably would have won then, but we'd be
and it's possible.
cheeks
You're right.
now.
It's possible. But all I know is I'm happy with who we have right now. Thank you. Does he deserve a statue? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the Thunder will ever do anything like that. That's for them to decide. I think whenever I think of KD, I think of him with the Thunder. I still do.
I wouldn't mind retiring his number. I wouldn't give him a statue, though. Okay. Russ gets a statue.
He probably will. I'm just not a Russ.
He put us on his back after everybody bailed on us.
I get it. I don't dislike him. Just don't.
Kevin Durant, yes, was better, but Russell Westbrook's the one that stuck around and
you're right.
Had one of the greatest point guard runs of all time.
I understand. Clay, you were living here during all that time. Like, what are your thoughts on any of what I was just talking about?
I just I agree. I think it's time to move on. Just whatever. Personally, I want to move on from it. I'm not sure. It just is so frustrating. It's like Kellen said. I mean, who knows? We may have this team now. We may not. Kevin Durant may still be playing for us. If he hadn't left, and we could have won 2 or 3 along the way. And I would take those 2 or 3 over the one that we've got. I mean, I love this team. There's nothing to do with that, but I just it's not that big a deal. I mean, Kevin Durant did a lot for the city when he was here. He donated lots of money, and I think he would have continued doing it and done a lot of things for the city if we wouldn't be booing him every time he gets the ball. And because I think he has a soft spot in his heart for Oklahoma City, but he's just not going to unleash that.
He doesn't because we're booing him, but I think I don't know. He deserves a tribute video before one of these games, like we did for Russ. At this point, I feel like it's long overdue because it hurt at the time, but it's been a while.
Sure, if he ever announces like this is my final season and how they have a little farewell tour,
yeah,
possible something like that may happen. I don't know the answer.
That'd be cool if we just go, all right, dude, that's all good now.
Because I mean, I'll still go back and watch some Kevin Durant Thunder highlight videos because you forget just how good he was because he's still incredible. But ever since like those Achilles injuries and all that, like his driving to the basket is gone. He's just a big shooter now. But like when he was with us, he was everything, and it was one of the best players of all time.
Well, I know one of the best shots I ever saw him make was against Dallas. We were in Springfield at the time, and he hit a last-second shot. It was regular season.
It was like 1.7 seconds or something.
It was deep, and he hit it. And just watching the crowd go nuts, and then his mom walks out there like on the court, at the end and hugs him, and it was pretty cool. Clay, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say. I mean, I kind of wish we'd start embracing him a little bit because he very well will be our first Hall of Famer that played at our franchise, and we're going to disown him. So
yeah,
I think it's time.
Okay. Well, let me ask you prediction-wise, record-wise, 82-0. What are your thoughts? What do you think we're going to do? Because we could be a better team, and maybe have our record not show it as good as last year, but we may be a better all-around team. I don't know, because you guys know we're going to get everybody's best efforts this season, or at least they're going to attempt to give us their best effort. And not saying they never have, but and then you got injuries that are going to factor in. Dub being out, which another thing is I was going to ask, I completely forgot. It's all secretive. Any idea? Have you heard anything on how long Dub's out? I heard him say today. They heard the guys on the radio were saying they heard he may not be back till Christmas.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Which, hey, if he's better for it, then I don't want him rushed back. But I know Caruso, I don't think he's playing tomorrow night. I think he got a concussion somehow. I didn't know that. Isaiah Joe's not playing.
Was that when he like drove to the basket? He got knocked down.
Yeah, no, I think he got it on a defensive play when he was trying to go Şengün, and he just did a little whip on, bam, just hit him right in the head. He stayed in the game.
Kidding.
He didn't come out, but it was right there. It was one of the overtimes.
Awesome.
Caruso airballed like 2 or 3 3-pointers last night.
Sure. All right. So that record-wise, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm obviously gonna go with no massive injuries that
Yes, correct.
Shea goes down.
Right.
That hopefully J-Dub. I think he'll probably be out through the rest of November, would be my guess. That's kind of what I was saying several weeks ago, is that I've heard that he's going to be out for a while with this type of surgery. I just don't think, we're going to get to see him much, but so that's going to hurt. But we didn't have Chet for a good chunk of the season last year and ended up winning. I'm going to go, 68-14 last year. I'm going to go 62-20.
62 is exactly what I was going to say. If we're fully healthy, I'd give a 70-71 possible. I mean, that's hard, even fully healthy. But we are, like last year, look what we did. And Chet and Hartenstein didn't play together for like the first 3/4 of the season. J-Dub missed some time. I want to say maybe Dort. I don't remember. Either way. But it's expected that players are going to have to miss some games. It doesn't have to be major, but you tweak something, you rest. So I think 62. It's still a good season, but I think it's kind of crazy to try to predict more than that, just because there's a lot of good teams in the NBA, and you just never know.
The West is stacked. The West is completely stacked.
And
go ahead.
Well, we were one shot away from losing last night. Essentially, like we were one more mistake. We were AJ Mitchell not hitting a 4-point play at halftime away from maybe not tying that game up in the end.
And it was fun, anxiety a lot. Did either of you guys at any point think that we were going to lose that game?
Yeah.
I thought if we lost, it was going to be because of the refs making some pretty poor calls. But
I'm not going to sit there
I thought we were going to come back.
I felt like I was expecting us to come back because I saw a lot of it last year, and I wasn't really. I'm not going to say nervous. I was anxious. I was getting mad about calls or bad shots or things like that. But I felt like we were probably going to turn it up and come back. I felt that if he took over like he did, I felt like I liked our chances, and I thought we would win. But my prediction is I think we're going to finish the season 59-23, just shy of 60. I think we're going to get a lot of team's best efforts, and it's very difficult, and it's difficult to win it all. I don't know if I can predict. I mean, I don't know if this is the time we can do that another time. Like if we think they're going to win it all, whenever maybe Gannon or Garrett are on. Also,
I'm always going to predict them to win it all.
Yeah,
and I think we are the best team. The best team doesn't always win in the end, but I think we are the best team. We're the deepest team without injuries, and I think even without J-Dub, we're the best team. But I think J-Dub's one of the best players in the league, so we really need him.
Did everybody on the bench get in the game last night?
I don't think so, because I know Zhang was Zhang in for a bit.
He didn't get in. I did see Barnheiser get in. But
AJ Mitchell, I didn't know what to think of him last year when he came back, but he was looking pretty good for the minutes he got.
How long was Kenrich in for?
He didn't play. I forgot but he's hurt. He didn't even suit out.
Okay, so he wasn't there either. Okay, all right. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, we didn't have Kenrich. Well, Carlson didn't suit out. I don't know why, but we didn't have Kenrich, Isaiah Joe, J-Dub, and Topic, obviously.
Sure. It'll be interesting. I'm excited for this season. I know you guys are as well. But let me ask you guys a couple different questions. Here we go. One was I was just looking at it, dadgummit. Have you ever cried over a sports loss? And if so, which one?
No, I don't cry. I'll just crash out with anger, but I'm not going to cry.
Clay?
Can't remember if I cried or if I punched something. Whenever you lost to USC in the national championship game, like got obliterated.
We got smoked.
I think that was the maddest I've ever been. But I don't remember ever crying. I've cried a lot in wins.
I honestly think there's a chance I would have cried if we lost Game 7.
The only time I remember crying, and it wasn't like bawling crying, but it was just so upset, it was Staubach's last game against the Rams, and they should have beaten them. We should have gone to the Super Bowl. I think we lost 21-19, 79 playoffs, divisional round. If we would have won, we would have played Tampa Bay the next game, which we would have smoked them. And we would have gone on to play Pittsburgh again in the Super Bowl. But at the time, I didn't know it was going to be his last game. But I just remember just going, I cannot believe like we got beat by the Rams. And I was 10. So does that count? I don't know if it counts, but that's the only time I can remember. I've been ticked a lot for some games, for sure, over the years. But, you know, as a Dallas fan now, let's segue into some NFL talk very quickly. As a Dallas fan, man, like I'm used to it. I'm used to being, you know, like happy and sad and all that kind of stuff all mixed. So they're not going to do it. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, but now we're into it. What is it? Is it 6 or 7 weeks we've already been playing in football right now? I think it's 7, right?
6 games.
Okay. Well, who's your team right now that most of?
No, 7. Sorry, played 7.
Is 7? Okay. Like what team out there has surprised you the most, good and bad? I think Baltimore is bad. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl and win it. They're garbage, hot mess. Anybody good? I mean, other than Kellen, your team.
I mean, Indianapolis. I predicted them to win 3 or 4 games, and they've lost 1. They look great. Their offense
Daniel
is
Jones,
incredible. Jonathan Taylor has 3 games with 3 touchdowns. Like, I don't know. I mean, if they somehow continue, they could literally play the Super Bowl because they're often they're hardly punting at all. It's insane.
Yeah, I think they're by far think y'all both said the right ones. I think the Buccaneers playing as good as they are. I think that's been pretty good. I'll say, though, a team that's probably shocking me the most, not for me necessarily preseason, but what since happened with the number of injuries is how well the Niners are playing. They're getting a lot of wins that I'm just like, how do they keep winning? And I mean, they don't have their quarterback. They don't have their best defensive player. All the receivers are hurt and they just keep winning. I don't know how that's happening. So with that, that's probably one of the bigger shockers.
I may be in the minority. I think Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy.
I agree. I've been saying that for weeks.
He should be the starter, and Purdy should pay all that money back. He's not going to.
I'd say another shock, though. They're still winning mostly, but the Eagles, Saquon hardly doing anything.
He's not doing anything.
They're just offensively.
You know why he's not doing it?
They'll have some games where they do well, but overall, they're not looking that great.
You know why he's struggling? You guys know? I drafted him number 1
in fantasy.
Yeah, I picked him first in fantasies. He's like, you know what? I
told you next year pick Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's garbage. And then I went to bed Monday night, beating Little C in fantasy football. I wake up the next day, and I didn't even look at it early. I didn't look at it till probably 8 or 9 o'clock. I was at work because I thought I won. And she beat me by like 2 points. I'm like, are you kidding me? I guess the Texans scored a defensive touchdown that beat me. Dadgummit. I'm 3-4. Yeah, I'm a hot mess this year, man. I'm not very good.
I got my first win against the dog.
Dog.
Yeah, I'm missing 5 of my top 6 picks, and I'm missing my best receiver that I picked up in free agencies.
And I barely
that poor guy. That poor guy, man.
But I mean, everybody's riddled with injuries. Who are you missing? You got Mike Evans and Burrow, and were you missing somebody else? You were missing somebody else because Evans played, but then he's done.
Yeah, and then he went down. Yeah.
You had somebody else on IR, I know.
The punter.
Yeah, it was like Calvin Ridley or something like that. But
still.
But I had what was killing me for a while was, obviously with Burrow going down, but then Chase Brown wasn't scoring anything. So he had a good week this week. So that helped me.
And Rodgers went off.
Yeah. My backup quarterback.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love the NFL. We need to talk a little bit more NFL. You think the Dodgers are going to sweep the Toronto Blue Jays, or who do you think is going to win that series, Clay?
Dodgers. I mean, I don't know if they'll sweep
4-1.
4-1 is probably a good prediction. The Dodgers are they're
loaded.
Good.
They're stacked. They're fantastic. They are fantastic. Okay, one final question. Would you, when you eat a meal, would you always, and you had to choose one of these, either your food was always just a little too hot or your food was always just a little too cold? Which one would you choose?
Hot.
Unless it's like
that's what I was getting ready to ask. Would you want a little bit of warm ice cream?
A warm
warm
bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Warm milk.
Yeah.
A warm soda.
Maybe cold, actually.
But a cold hamburger? Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
No, I can eat a cold hamburger. It's not as good as a hot hamburger, but I will eat that. I'll eat a cold piece of pizza.
I can put a few of them down, boys. Well, the Fox 10 Sports Podcast, I'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. Keep subscribing. Keep chatting with us. Keep sending us emails. Let us know you're listening. We're on so much stuff right now, but we've got to get a little bit more out there. But keep it up. Keep listening. Give us a good star rating, 5-star rating, all that kind of good stuff. But we want to appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We'll see you again next week. And for Kellen the dog and Banks McDonald, I'm Todd Fox. Everybody, have a fantastic week. And remember, Boomer. Goodbye, everybody.
Sooner.
I was about to say, if we don't wrap this up.
Thank you for listening to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox 10 Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox 10 Sports and on Facebook at Fox 10 Sports Podcast. You can also email us at fox10sports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox 10 Sports.